Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock, 79 degrees. I was just taking a quick look at the weather so I can pretend I'm a weatherman. 49% chance we'll see rain today. Highs around 87. Good morning. How you doing? All right, one of my favorite things in this town is the Ocala Civic Theater, and we've got something new to talk about. Christine Perry, Danuta Jacob, and Susan Mooring are in the studio to talk about the play called The Savannah Sipping Society. Let me make sure I got their picture on this video thing here. And ladies, here we go. There's the camera. So good morning. Good morning, ladies. How's everybody? Good. What is the Savannah Sipping Society? Sounds like fun.
It is.
How are you, Susan?
Lots of fun.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you. I guess I'll answer. The Savannah Sipping Society is a group of ladies who meet accidentally and end up helping each other with problems in their lives.
Is it based on a true
I doubt
story?
it.
You doubt it. Okay. Who wrote it? Do you know? Who's the playwright?
The playwrighs, three of them, Jesse Jones, Nicholas Hope, and Jamie Wooten. We did another play of theirs several years ago called The Dixie Swim Club.
Oh, that was a fun one. I enjoyed that one.
So this is the same playwrights, and it's sort of one of them writes for the Golden Girls.
Oh, really?
For the Golden Girls, I should say.
Okay.
And so, that kind of style.
So how did you find out about this place so that you could audition for it? Maybe there's a question for all three of you. Susan,
Well, I always read the newsletter.
So that's how this works? I don't even know how it works. So the theater puts out a newsletter?
Yeah.
And says, this is what's upcoming?
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And describes all the roles. And gives the dates of performance, of course, very important because you have to be at all of them.
You have to be there, yeah.
Various pieces of information that we need, including the ages of the characters and a little bit about them so that you can decide if you think you could attempt that.
So you play Randa, is that her name?
Randa.
Randa.
Yes. Short for Miranda.
Okay, and who is she? Tell me about her.
She is the hostess because they all meet on her veranda. They make a joke of that, Randa's veranda. And she bought an old house in downtown Savannah, and they meet somewhere else and invite themselves over and invite a friend, and but they end up being wonderful friends and supporting each other.
Sounds like fun already.
In difficult moments. It is. It's a lot of fun.
And Danuta, you play, it says Spunky Fireball Jinx.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, that's my character. She is the one who was invited by one of the ladies that kind of horned in on her veranda. And she was invited because the lady who invited her felt like she could really help them learn how to have fun and get their lives restarted. And
she got the experience or something?
Well, she says she does.
She has the personality.
Yeah. She's a go-getter, and she really gets them doing things that they maybe wouldn't have done otherwise.
Is that you in real life?
Not really. No. It's a lot easier to do things like that on stage because it gives you the license to do things that you wouldn't normally do in your own life, and you can have fun with that.
That is kind of fun, yeah.
Exactly what it is. Yep.
You also need a catalyst. So you're the catalyst. Then.
Basically, correct. Yep.
And Christina, you're the director?
Yes.
Oh wow! So tell me how this happened. How did you find the play?
Katrina came to me.
Uh-huh.
She is our new artistic director, and asked me back in the spring if I would like to direct it. And I said, oh, absolutely. I directed the Dixie Swim Club.
Okay,
Had such a
okay.
wonderful
That
time
makes
with
sense,
the
yeah.
swim club. And the writers being the same writers, I thought, oh, I can't pass this up.
It is a great theater. I mean, you guys
It's
put on such an
wonderful.
amazing show. You don't feel like there's anything lacking. Everything is perfect. And I've seen I've gone with Robin. Robin is my reason for going because I never used to go, and then she used to always go. Robin's gone to everyone since not everyone, but
1973.
she's been gone forever. You know, so.
It's way back in the old building.
And she would always come back into the studio and tell me, "Oh my gosh, I got this great play last night. And I'll go one day." And then one day she took me. I think the first one was the City Dolls, something about dolls.
Oh, Guys and Dolls.
Guys and Dolls, yeah.
Guys and dolls.
Yeah, then I saw a few, and then lately I see more than I did. But you don't feel like it's, you think local theater. It's not like that at all. It feels like a big theater to me. So that's all of your credit, and so how do you maintain that? How do you fill those shoes when you know so many people before you have done the same thing and put on some good shows? Is that a awkward question?
No, it's not awkward.
There's something very special about Ocala. People love theater, and there are a lot of talented people who just move here and seek the theater out. And so we always seem to be able to draw such wonderful talent. You would think a small town would maybe not have all of those assets.
Right.
It seems that, we have people turn up. I know we're doing Patsy Cline in the spring, and we did Patsy Cline some years back. And
Is that a play or like a
it's the
tribute?
story of Patsy Cline's life.
Okay.
And the girl who auditioned had the most incredible voice. You closed your eyes. She sounded like Patsy Cline, and it was like, my goodness, where did she come from? But she had lived here in Ocala most all of her life.
Oh, my gosh.
And
Wow.
so it's just, I think, a wonderful, unique place where we have lots of talent and people show up. And
So what's harder, being a director or being like the manager of a business where you have employees? What's harder? Because you got two things going. You got people management and a show to put on.
with putting a show on, you've got a lot of aspects. You've got not only the actors, but the props. The Sipping Society has a lot of props. They do a lot of drinking.
Oh, that's good.
But as director, you're in charge of all that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then there's lights and there's music with the show, and but it's all fun. I love seeing everything come together.
Do you know in advance which lines are going to get a laugh?
Never.
You don't
Well,
know?
no, sometimes, I should say sometimes, but there are always surprises.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
every
Both
audience
ways.
is different.
Yes.
Both ways. You think you think you'll get a laugh every night with some line, and so you prepare to pause and and then you get caught when they don't laugh.
They don't laugh.
Are some audiences better laughers than others?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I think when Robin is in your audience, you probably have some good laughing going on.
Sure.
Oh, I love that. I love to laugh.
That's great.
Well, this is it. You also have a lot of emotion in this play, where there is some sadness that creeps in.
Yeah, there
Yes.
is.
More than creep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because these ladies do have problems, and Danuta's character just sort of prod us into getting going with them, but we all help each other, and in various ways.
Yeah.
So Danuta should have something secret too, right? Even though she's
Indeed.
flamboyant
Exactly.
and everything, you might have something secret.
I might.
How do you keep everything fresh for each of the performances? There's so many performances, and it must take a toll toward the end, but you can't let that show. Every performance has to be like the first, I think.
I think the best secret, and it should not be a secret to any actor, listen. Listen all the time. Listen to what your fellow actors say. Listen to what you say. because you can find all sorts of new meanings. Things will crop up. You know, I've had things crop up in the fourth weekend of a show into my own head.
Oh.
Because I all of a sudden noticed something.
Oh, really?
Some small thing that had been overshadowed by learning the lines and, you know, getting everything going. So, listen.
And sometimes I notice too, after I've got the lines under my belt, let's say, and I'm still practicing them, all of a sudden, as I'm saying them, I'll say something in just a slightly different way, a little nuance or something, and I'll go, oh, wow, I think that's how that should be said.
Ah, oh, really?
And so you
And then
discover
the other
things.
characters respond differently to
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Yes.
They do. Is there some improvising then that goes along if something happens like that?
Hopefully not too much.
Okay, so it sounds like not improvising as far as the script, but maybe as far as the delivery of the script.
Yes.
That's where the improvising happens, right? And that's the kind of an experimental thing where, like you say, 4 weeks later, all of a sudden you have a different spin on it or something.
Yes.
Yeah. Do ladies, like this kind of a play looks like a ladies' play? So your ladies primarily on stage, right? Are there men on stage too?
No.
No, this is all ladies.
all ladies.
So what is that dynamic like for you as actresses and as a director?
It's
fun.
It's really fun because even though, I mean, the play is about these women who are bonding and getting to know each other and helping each other through the difficulties that they're going through. And in the process, they become really strong friends. And in the process, I've worked with Susan before, so we're already friends. But one of our actresses, Lainey, who plays Marla Fay, is coming from Umatilla every rehearsal. That's
Oh, wow.
where she lives.
Oh, my.
And so we've gotten to know her, and that's been a delight. And Janet, who plays Dot, she has been in a couple of plays before, but this is her first sort of major role, let's say, and it's just been so much fun getting to know each other.
So what happens in the play is happening in your real life.
Kind of.
And
At least the friendship part is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully not the problems.
well, you must have a lot of chemistry between each of the personalities, the ladies. And how do you, Christina, as the director, make sure that you select the proper ones for the characters?
I think that's the hardest role a director has, at least for me, is matching the actor with the part. And a lot of it is, listening and my preconceived idea of the characters and what I think they should look like, sound like, act like. And then you go about, after you hear everybody audition, you go about matching people with the characters.
So when a person auditions, is the script available to you prior to the audition?
Absolutely, yes. In fact, we encourage people to read the script ahead of time so that they are familiar with the show. And so they know what part they're auditioning for.
And you asked earlier about how you find out, and Susan said, through the newsletter is one way. The way I found out about this particular play is that I happened to be on the play reading committee when this season was selected.
Okay.
So I knew 2 years ago that this play was coming, and I had been in Dixie Swim Club and so much loved doing that play that I knew I was going to audition for this play no matter what.
Danuta, I don't hear a Southern accent. Where are you from?
I'm actually from New England. That's where I originally
So do you have to put on a Southern accent for this play?
I do.
Has a gorgeous Southern accent.
I think I do okay.
Yes,
I'm one
she
of those fortunate people. Well, it could be fortunate or unfortunate. If I'm around people who are using or speaking in an accent, I just absorb it, and I start talking that way whether I want to or not.
Really?
Oh, my.
And
Yeah, some people think you're mocking them.
but for instance, before I lived here in Ocala, which I absolutely love, we lived up in the Panhandle, and I worked in a courthouse up there, and that part of Florida is almost like Lower Alabama. It's very heavy drawls.
Yeah.
And I started talking like them, and then I would come home from work,
Oh,
and I
okay.
would still be talking like that, and my husband would go, "Okay, you're not there anymore, so you can stop." So fortunately, that helps me with the acting part. If I have to,
That
have an
does help.
accent.
I'm sure that does help. Susan, you also. Where are you from originally?
Right here.
But you don't have that. You don't have that southern accent. I don't hear it.
Well, no, I
Oh, there, right
a
there.
little bit. But,
I heard a little bit, yeah.
No, my parents grew up here. My parents, as a matter of fact, were among the founding group of the Ocala Civic Theater.
And you know what it is? I'm so used to Ocala. Maybe that's why I don't hear it. Like if we were in the Panhandle, I would hear that different accent.
Yeah.
But I'm around Ocala all the time, obviously. So yeah, maybe that's why I don't hear it. My son grew up here. Robin's children grew up here, so they probably have Ocala accents, and I don't even notice it. And maybe that's why. Yeah.
Did each of you ladies try out for the part that you are playing, or did you try out for a part and then you were cast as somebody different?
Well, Christine, we have both worked for Christine before and love working for Christine.
Yes.
What I did was to just put down a couple of names, a couple of the roles that I thought, well, don't limit yourself if you don't have to.
Oh,
And,
nice.
And so, giving her a little wider choice and myself a little more hope.
So tell us about some of the characters that are not represented here. Dot and you mentioned Lainey. Well, Lainey's actually the actress, right?
Yes.
So she's Marla Faye?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about those characters.
Well, Marla Faye's from Texas.
Ah, yeah, you're doing
Big
the
gal
accent.
from a big state. And, she was married 30 years, and her husband ran off with a 23-year-old dental hygienist.
Oh, my.
Oh, no.
And so she finds her way to Savannah to start a new life.
And she is not a personality to take it quietly.
Yes.
Put it that way.
Oh, nice.
That's correct.
Oh, this is fun.
She's very boisterous about what happened to her.
The first show is this Thursday, is that right?
Yes,
This
Halloween.
It's this Thursday,
Okay.
Halloween.
night.
Well, that's fun. And so you get to play somebody else and instead of dressing up as somebody else. Well, are there costumes that make a difference for the show?
Oh, yeah.
When does it take
Oh,
place?
my.
What's the era?
Modern day.
Just modern day. So Savannah wouldn't have any different clothing than us, right?
No, but they do things, they go places that make them have different costumes.
Oh, how fun.
So-
How fun. I love that.
We hear about their exploits when they come in with certain
Wait a minute. You got to
costumes
tell us
on.
more about
that's
that. They're
wonderful.
giggling. And
I love
where do they
that.
go?
Well, they go to a salsa club. They get
Oh,
dressed up
nice.
and have an evening at a salsa club.
Okay.
Then they end up at a Renaissance fair.
Oh.
Dressed up in their
okay.
Renaissance outfits.
Uh-huh. Oh, how fun.
Come back on the porch and drink mead. Honey.
Veranda.
Yeah,
The veranda.
Yes.
Used
At
to miss the
Randa's.
whole- Randa's veranda.
Are you present for all of the performances then?
No, my job ends opening night. I get my pink slip.
Oh,
Are you going, Robin? Are you going to the opening night?
no, not this
So
opening.
are you serving, like a lot of times on opening night, there's hors d'oeuvres and stuff. Are you serving the honey thing and all that? Are you
We should.
We should. I think it's the weekend of the 17th that a local company will be serving bourbon.
Oh,
Nice.
Which is another
Which
of
is-
the many things
That we drink.
society sips on.
Yeah.
They sip wine, they sip Kentucky bourbon, they sip
Mead.
they sip Madeira wine, they
Right.
sip
What's that drink you make?
mojitos.
Mojitos, right.
They sip hot chocolate,
chocolate
with
with
Kahlua.
Yes.
Well, so then even the props are characters to accommodate the
yeah.
different drinks that you have.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely,
Yes.
they are.
That's absolutely
Because we do
marvelous.
have a different glass for each
Yes, we
type
have a
of
different
drink
glass
as
for
well.
each different
Different
drink.
type of glass.
And what kind of
Stage crew
decor?
has a lot of dishwashing.
What kind of decor does the veranda have?
Well, it's described as a jasmine-covered veranda.
Oh,
See,
Okay.
that's more of a
Victorian
southern accent right
charm.
there.
uh-huh. Oh, I bet it's
I
beautiful.
have many friends from Georgia. So
So would this go over in Savannah? I mean,
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
It's played in Savannah. Yes.
That must be fun for people in Savannah to see this play because it's got their name in it, right?
Yeah.
Our set designer, Tara Houston, is from Baton Rouge. She's a professor there at LSU in set design, and she did our set for us. And so she sent me ahead of time lots of pictures to, what about this house? What about that house? What do you think of this? So we took a combination of all the
Oh, how
different
wonderful.
houses in Savannah.
So was there some aspect of this particular show that was more challenging for you than others you've done? Is there music in this one? Or?
Well, I put music with it.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Explain that. What do you mean?
Well, I just really love music, and I really feel that plays and music go hand in hand. So even though that they aren't singing and it's not a musical, the fact that you add music to a play gives it an emotional depth.
Sure, I agree with you.
And
yeah.
I've put songs with certain scenes that reflect the characters' personalities or what they're going through. And so that makes an emotional impact.
And is that music coming from the orchestra pit? Is it live?
No,
it's recorded. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
And I've picked music that I think these characters would have listened to in their lives.
Oh, okay.
So to make the music is relevant to the show because it's relevant to the character.
Are there men in their lives, not on stage apparently, but like obviously there's at least one guy who ran off with a 20-something-year-old.
Hear about them, yes. We hear about the men in their lives.
And what is the time span that the play takes place?
6
About
months.
6 months.
Yeah,
about
over
6
6
Oh,
months.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, did we walk out of the theater crying?
No.
No, laughing.
But you might want to bring a tissue or
Yeah,
two.
there is a teary moment.
In the middle, somewhere?
I love that.
We have time to get over it, so nobody...
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Yes. It ends on a very happy and very funny note.
Yes.
It seems that every play, there's always some artist or a photographer or a group that's showcased in the lobby. Do you have anybody this time showcased in the lobby?
yes, we do. We make an effort to have a different artist or group. This time it's Artist Alley,
Oh,
which is
okay.
I guess you'd say now I don't have the word, but it's
conglomerate?
not a combine, co-op sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
And so various artists who have gathered together to, get themselves a space and display and so forth. And so we invited that group to provide us with an exhibit.
Oh, nice.
The Ocala Art Group, for however long we've been in the building, so that'd be 30-some years now, Ocala Art Group has been in the January show. And for the last few years, the Ocala Camera Club has done the 4th or 5th show of the season. So, for this year for Matilda, which was the opening show and very involved with children, the Marion County Schools
That little girl was
provided
cute, by
us
the way.
with. Pardon?
That little girl was in here, and she was very cute. Amazing
Amazing girl. Anyway, for that show, we had the Marion County students artists.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay.
we try to either get something of variety, or it's harder to get always a theme. But, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that during the intermission, and then you look at everything that's there. It's really nice.
The gift that you give the rest of us is much appreciated. I want you to know that we benefit so greatly from the work that you do, the efforts. I mean, it's kind of like the Thanksgiving dinner story. You take 3 days or 3 weeks maybe to make it, and it takes 20 minutes to eat it. I mean, the same thing with the work you do. It's so much time put into it, and then we sit and watch a show, and 2 hours later it's done, and all that work behind it is much appreciated. You give us something very special, and thank you for doing that. So real quickly, the Savannah Sipping Society, are we giving tickets away at noon, Robin?
Yes, yep,
So
we are.
later on at noon, we'll be giving tickets away. The show starts on Thursday and runs through November 24th. and that's when you get sad, right? Because the play ends. I always figure it must be sad. Whenever I hear about a group dissolving.
It always
Speaking
is.
of Thanksgiving, we will all have to rush home and get our Thanksgivings ready.
Oh, that's right.
Is that
that's right.
Thanksgiving Day?
No, it's the weekend before Thanksgiving, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's Sunday. So,
Well, I'm
yeah,
grateful
that's
it
hard.
didn't run through.
Oh, me too. Because we have.
Well,
our big
Christine,
family
you're
down.
really a blessing for the theater.
Well, thank
And
you.
of course, Susan, you've been there forever.
blessings
And
for the
you're
theater,
amazing.
yes.
And Danuta, you are absolutely amazing too. I do love all the productions, but I really love the camaraderie between all the actors and then the people behind the scenes. Everybody works so well together.
It's the same team. All on the same team.
We feel like we know you after the show's done. I want to hang out with you guys. And we don't get to hang out with you. Well, it's nice that you come in here to share this with us. Thank you all. We'll be giving tickets away at noon on the Midday with Joe segment. And be careful out there. Happy Halloween and have fun.
All right. Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Top Republicans in Congress were notified in advance of the raid in Syria to take out Islamic State terrorist leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. Democrats were not. Why? President Trump says.
The answer is because I think Adam Schiff is the biggest leaker in Washington.
Congressman Schiff chairs the House Intelligence